Hey guys, so here bringing you another video. Welcome back to a Huzzy Q&A. Haven't done one of these in a week or two with everything going on. I was just a bit like blah mind. But we're back. I'm feeling a lot less stressed, I will say, and we will talk about that in a second or two. But yeah, things feel better internally, mentally, and all that stuff. And yeah, we can get on to just making some more chill content, I will say, for the next week or two. I've actually been very happy with how the content has been going recently, I will say. People love the duo queue series, people love the Clash games, even my own games, the solo queue, have been going pretty well, or better than they have been. So overall, I've been really happy with content. Again, viewer number-wise, as an update, it's obviously going insanely well. I can give you guys just a bit of an update, because I know some people like to hear if the channel's doing fine. So last month, I would say, February, we got 1.1 million views. In March, we got 1.35 million views. So that's a lot of extra views. Worth noting, that doesn't equal bonus revenue. Revenue actually at the moment is down. But again, don't feel sorry for me. I'm completely fine with that. I'm just happy that I can be here for you guys to like cure any boredom that you may potentially have. Because I'm like you. When I'm not making content, I'm literally on my computer or in bed and I'm like, I need something to watch. So yeah, like I'm just happy that you guys are enjoying the content, and yeah, I've been happy with it overall recently. All you can do, again, if you are enjoying the content, throw a like, throw a comment on the videos that you're watching. It goes a long way. It actually helps share the videos on YouTube. And even though revenue is down at the moment, if we can grow the channel through all this, then that's a positive at least. But yeah, hopefully you guys are doing okay. And I will say, especially if you are staying at home and you're listening to all the advices from the governments, well done to you. Give yourself a pat on the back. You know, stay home and game is probably the easiest advice any of us have ever had from a government. Secondly, if you are one of the key workers that is having to continue working right now, thank you very much. If you're a doctor, nurse, in healthcare in general, stores, you know, grocery stores, medical stores, pharmacies, delivery drivers, anybody, like if you are one of those people, thank you very much again from me, from hopefully most of my audience as well. It's probably, you know, I've got some friends that are one of those, you know, few of those key workers as well. They say it's pretty rough right now, and I definitely imagine that. But yeah, hopefully you're doing okay. So today's Q&A, the footage in the background is probably a Darius game that I played yesterday before Rivals as a warm-up on my Smurf. It went pretty good, but I actually, because of all like everything that was going on, I actually forgot to kind of commentate. So I was like, oh, I can just use it for a Q&A background, because obviously we do, well, spoilers, we do quite well in the game. So Q&A, we've got them from the YouTube community tab, and we also have them from the Discord server. But the first one, we will probably go and talk about Rivals, I guess. So worth noting, I'm not going to be uploading the Rivals games. It's not out of like embarrassment. It's more, it just kind of isn't great. So if you're not aware, you didn't watch it, you're waiting for the videos. We didn't win a game, my team. We weren't the only team that didn't win a game. In the other group, there was another team that didn't win a game. And what I will say, you know, not to hide away from anything, I normally have my Twitch VODs locked to Twitch subscribers, because watching a Twitch VOD literally gives me nothing. You know, no revenue and etc. as my job. I've got to be a little bit selfish in that regard, because the content that I want you guys to watch, I want you to watch it on YouTube, if you know, instead of a Twitch VOD. But what I will say, because I'm not uploading the games here on YouTube, I am going to unlock my Twitch VODs for the next few days. So if you really want to go watch the games from my perspective, you can. I'm not unlocking them for the next few days. Enjoy them if you want to, but as my overall experience, like what did I take away from it, what did I like, dislike, etc. So overall, I think it was a positive experience, even though like some people are like, really, yeah, like I'm not the type of person that's like, oh damn, I played, you know, we didn't win a game, therefore it's terrible. I've said it to you guys before, I'm not the guy in solo queue that I'm having a bad game, therefore my whole team has to have a bad time. I try to look for the positives, and the positives from it was I got to play against players that are better than me, and I learnt a lot. I also got to play with teammates that are really good, and I learnt team play more. We played with Yamato, and learning a lot from him in the you know, the few days playing with him was like experience that how many people get to do that? Like hardly anybody. And as the overall, like my thought is, how many people get to play in Twitch Rivals? You know, hardly anybody in their whole lifetime. So that's just really cool. So overall, it's a positive experience. But what I will say is, It is feedback that I have spoken to Twitch about here or there, and they are aware of it. Basically, it depends which region you're in, depends the mentality of Twitch rivals. So, and it also depends what game. You know, the TFT Twitch rivals that we took part in a few months ago, that was really lighthearted and fun. There are other Twitch rivals that I've checked out, like the Call of Duty one, the PUBG ones in the past. They're really fun. League of Legends seems to be the one that isn't for fun. Depending which region you're in. The North American version of Twitch Rivals seems for fun. You know, there are captains that are picking lower rated people on purpose just because they're friends, or it'd be funny, or it'd be a nice atmosphere. In EU, it's completely different. So EU is full tryhard, and it's not what I'd say incredibly enjoyable when you're not like, I'm not a challenger player, I'm not a grandmaster player, I'm not an ex-pro, I'm, you know, an educational entertaining kind of commentator. Twitch Rivals EU doesn't seem to be that way, so I'm not entirely sure I'll be competing in future Twitch Rivals. Even though I was selected to be one of the captains, one of the 8 people to be selected, I've already told them, I was like, it just isn't fun. And just to kind of say why, half the teams in the tournament are like proper teams, ex-pros, all playing together like all the time in other tournaments, so their coordination is off the charts. Like individually as players, they're already better than us, but then they're also a normal, like they play together in tournaments. How are you ever going to beat that? How, like, we're never going to beat that. And like, it's not even beating that, it's like having fun against it, which to me is the main point. And it's just a bit weird. Again, I know this sounds complainy, but like, there's one team, I don't know which team it was, but there's one team that they're not streamers at all. So it's Twitch Rivals. I thought the idea was like, it's all streamers, you're all playing in the tournament, it's all like known personalities in Europe. So when we were doing our research and scouting to some of the teams, like we came across some of these players, their last time that they streamed was the last Twitch Rivals, like 4 months ago. And it's like, or 2-3 months ago. And it's like, isn't it supposed to be for streamers though? Like, I just find that's a bit weird. It just seems that like there's some people that and like Twitch is okay with it. Like, oh no, they can just play like every Twitch Rivals. They don't have to stream. They're just kind of just churning it out for the money, which that kind of sucks to me. I don't know. And obviously that does sound like a complaint, and it is a complaint. But yeah, so like for me, I would definitely vibe more with the North American Twitch Rivals feel, where everybody is a streamer. Everybody's like, oh, I know who that guy is. I know who that guy is. You don't know who the people in EU are because half of them aren't really streamers. So that is something I have spoken to Twitch about, and they have taken it on board because just the vibe is just, I don't know, it just isn't good. It's just a bit like, I dare I say the vibe is a bit toxic. I don't know. But overall, I do take it as a positive experience. So yeah, like I think I've become a better player from playing in it. You know, the game that you saw earlier, the Alawi game, and then this Darius game. I remember, by the way, when we were playing on this Smurf a couple weeks ago, I was actually struggling a bit as a player to like stomp, to like get really fed. We played 2 games on the account yesterday. You're watching one of the Darius episodes now. We ended up absolutely crushing in both of those games, and it wasn't even close. Like at the beginning of this game that you might be watching right now, I'm struggling a little bit with the Renekton because the Zac was duo with the Renekton, so obviously the Zac kept coming top from memory. But eventually, you'll see as this footage goes, slight spoiler, we just crush and take over the game. It wasn't even difficult. So I think I've actually become a much better player from this experience. And just to talk a bit about my teammates, by the way, I do not regret picking any of them because my vibe was I want to pick people that I want to play with. The end. I don't care about picking the challenger guy that I have no idea who he is. Like, I'm picking people that I know and I want to play League with. And it was great. You know, building up to the event, we played Clash. That was really fun. We obviously had background chats. We had a laugh. And, you know, just as a little thing of individually, all of them. Firstly, Yamato, to me, he was like, you know, the dark horse pick that I don't know him. I've never met him. Obviously, I've watched him for years. You know, he was a coach for a Worlds team from memory. He has obviously been an analyst in Worlds and also LEC and stuff. So he was the dark horse pick. I was like, I'm hoping it'll work out because in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, he's like this level in League of Legends, like mentally. If we make mistakes, is he going to be okay with us making mistakes or is he going to be really harsh to it? Honestly, you can say this without any whatevers. One of the nicest people I've met in the League scene. One of the nicest. And it especially blew me away because he has all of this League of Legends knowledge and he's like big brain League. He would have been probably looking at some mistakes we were making going, oh God, what are these people doing? But he was always really nice. Like, genuinely really, really nice. And I hope that, I do keep in contact with him. It does seem that that's going to happen. And, our team as a whole might continue playing Clash when we've got spare time together. So overall, that's really awesome. So Yamato was a big tick in my box, and I was very happy. And that's props to Vixie. She was the one that actually suggested it. And then I said to Fox, I was like, hey, do you know Yamato? Because obviously you've done LEC casting, would that be okay? So then Fox asked Yamato, hey, would you be fine if Huz picks you and we all play together? And Yamato was like, yep, that's great. That would be awesome. So that was awesome. And then the other teammates, Vixie, and we just mentioned, she did really well for what she could. Like, she was heavily focused in mid lane. Like, we spoke earlier about these teams are all really coordinated. Their coordination usually went on mid. So, like, 3 people were constantly going mid. They denied all our vision in mid. They had a crazy amount of vision around mid. And that was obviously pretty rough. Like, she had a couple of pop-off games, which was awesome. But yeah, I imagine it was a bit rough for her because she was getting focused quite a lot. But obviously, as a great player, you're going to get focused. Like, if you look through our team in rating-wise, she is really the person to get focused. Bizzle and her are the 2 highest rated, and you're not probably going to focus the support that much, so you're going to focus the mid laner. But she did really well for what she was given. Fox, I think this was one of Fox's first ever big competitive tournaments. He did pretty well. For overall, I think he was a bit surprised here or there with the coordination that the enemy team had, but nothing bad. These players are insane. Again, we said that they play together, a lot of these teams often, so their coordination of denying the jungle, taking over the jungle is rough. And with the jungle XP stuff, if you get behind in the early game as jungle, you're kind of like, oh, here we go. So yeah, that's just the way that goes. Bizzle as well, obviously a great support player. He had a really good game of Senna, and he made some really nice plays here or there. Again, I think it's just coordination that we needed to improve on as a whole, as a team. And you could definitely tell we were slightly off in coordination, but if that slightly off turned to slightly on, Bizzle was doing great. Honestly, really good. And then I guess me, overall, obviously, I'm not incredibly happy with how I played in most of the tournament. I had 2 good games, that I won my lanes early, so I got some solo kills. I can say that. I got some solo kills in top lane on, challenger players, so that's cool. I think both of them were set games, and I will say, obviously in this tournament, target bans are a thing. Obviously, Zoe got target banned for Vixie, even though she wasn't heavily prioritizing Zoe, because Zoe isn't great in coordinated play. I got target banned quite a bit as well, so my set got banned, my Darius got banned, which is a bit like, goddammit. But yeah, so overall, I think I had 2 good games where I won my lane early, that I got solo kills, was doing fine with farm. I had 3, what I'd say, average games that I was playing for the team. I was playing Ornn in 2 of those games, and the idea with Ornn isn't necessarily win lane, it's to just get to mid to late game with your team and take over team fights. Unfortunately, we just couldn't get there. I had 1 game that was really bad. So I was trying to get Set. Set was my comfort pick for this tournament. Unfortunately, the enemy team may have knew that, so they first picked Set away from me. I picked Darius, and I was kind of thinking, it was one of the last games, I think it was the second to last game, and I was thinking, screw it, let's just go Darius. It's a skill matchup. Both champions can end up winning. It is a skill matchup. If Darius snowballs, then Set can't do anything. If Set snowballs, Darius can't do anything. And unfortunately, the Set snowballed. So yeah, these players are better than me. I got owned in the early game, and I just couldn't recover. It was rough. We did it, we made a bit of a recovery that game, and it was really unfortunate. My worst game was the best game for Bizzle, and one of the best games for Vixie, and I was like, I felt really bad after that game, because it was big time my fault. But overall, I will say I'm happy I did it, but I just don't know if I'm going to be doing any in the future. Unless Twitch themselves kind of go, all right, Huz, we've listened to you. It's going to be more of a relaxed vibe, then cool. It has to be streamers competing, not people that only stream 3 times a year. If they tell me that, then cool. Other than that, probably not going to compete anymore. It just adds so much more stress that I just don't need. I really don't, that's the thing. So yeah, it was good though. Overall, I'm really happy. And if anything, the positives to take away from it, got to play with some friends. Hopefully that now that as a team, we've like bonded a bit, and then we can have like these 5. Like I've always said to you guys, I want to play Clash, but it's just getting people together for Clash. Well, now we've got like people for Clash, hopefully. The Clash mode was really fun, and the thing with Clash gets scaled to your rating. So yes, it's tier 1 Clash, but it will be a high. That Clash that we were in was a mid to high diamond tiered Clash, not like Twitch Rivals Challenger tier Clash. So Clash mode hopefully in the future will be good, and overall I'm happy with it. But yeah. Next up, let's go into what are my thoughts on Half-Life Alyx. I haven't really looked into it, to be honest, with again how busy I've been. I've literally like last few days woken up, started my stream, warmed up for Rivals, played Rivals, basically been depressed in the evening, gone into bed, fell asleep for probably about 4 hours, and then did the same thing the next day. So I might look into more stuff. I know that people kept telling me that there's this game Mount and Blade or something that I might like. I like war games. I like medieval stuff, so I might look into that. But yeah, I know it's a VR game, but I know some people go, really? I've never played a Half-Life game, so I'm not sure if it's something that I would ever get into. I do have a VR headset, but yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see. Next up is, have you ever thought about maining champions like Riven or Yasuo? Keep up the good work. No. No. So those champions I actually would deem specialist champions. In order to play them to a level that I would want to, you have to specialize into them. Otherwise, it's just not worth it. And I'm not someone that wants to specialize into an individual champion. Like that's, you guys know me. So no, they're not my type of champions. And I will say I generally even avoid playing those type of champions in Smurf series. Without getting into it too much, the specialist champions, their communities aren't the most welcoming. So like, oh, this YouTuber that doesn't play Riven is now playing Riven, attack him. That's kind of what it feels like whenever you play one of these champions. So it just isn't really worth doing. Next up is, will I be doing a rank series on EU Northeast? Potentially. I do have an account that I'm leveling, as I mentioned maybe earlier. I don't know. I might be doing a week or so of chill content and then go back on the main account after a week, just to kind of relax after the whole stress, of recent. And yeah, maybe this week we'll be leveling up the account a bit more. I think it's like level 12 maybe. So obviously we need to get it to level 30 if we ever wanted to do that series. I have been told by several friend content creators it is a great series to do if you want to relax, and it's not to be BM to EU Northeast, but it's a much easier server. Like again, I know people that have got Grandmaster and low Challenger on EU Northeast that have never got Master on EU West. So it's a much different server, but obviously that would make potentially for good content, fun content, light-hearted content, and also educational content. I know this might sound bad, but the easier the gamers are, the more I can focus on education. So we will probably do it. I just don't know when. Next up is, do I cook? Will I make cooking videos? I do. So obviously with the weight loss and everything, one big part of that was eating healthy. So actually cooking myself every day. And obviously that is something that a lot of people can't do. And it's a lot of effort to do. So I simplified it. I just had eggs and bacon, or eggs. I had eggs pretty much every day. But eggs and a meat every day. Eggs and chipolatas, eggs and sausage, eggs and bacon, eggs and whatever. Basically had that every day. And obviously I just changed up how the eggs were. Scrambled, poached, hard-boiled, fried. Well, actually, I didn't really have fried that much. But yeah, in essence, I cook every day. It has obviously slowed down recently because, as I mentioned, the weight loss is pretty much done. I'm very happy with everything. And the cool thing, I know there's a couple more questions about weight loss here, is I'm now literally, I've stopped losing weight. I'm not gaining any weight. I'm at my number, but I actually myself can see my body still changing without actually losing weight. So, not to get into it too much, I'm quite muscular up here now. There's like a lot of definition here. My stomach is near enough flat. There's still a little bit of a podge, but I think most people have that. That will go over time. But I now have a permanent line down the middle of my stomach. I have 2 lines at the edge of my stomach, like as definition. It's my body is now morphing. The arms are getting veiny and stuff. So more veiny. They're quite veiny already. But yeah, like it's now adjusting the body more without necessarily focusing on losing weight. And I will just say, like, what is the end goal? I do not want to become like a really big fitness person. I do not want to be like muscly crazy. I just want to be healthy, in shape, and like if it's a balance that I'm, let's say slightly more, like I'd say I am slightly more in shape than the average person now, which is good. But considering my job is so unhealthy, I'm sitting at a desk for 10, 12 hours a day minimum. It's good to have that active side. It's really good to have that active side. So yeah, and obviously right now I'm just focusing on weights. I'm not really doing any cardio. I do have in the back of my mind, I want to do a marathon maybe in the next couple of years. So when I actually go, right, I'm going to run the London Marathon this year or like next year. Obviously, then I will focus on cardio. I used to be a runner, so I reckon I'll be fine. Again, I used to be a county sprinter and stuff. So obviously sprinting is a bit different than marathon running, but obviously I know how to run. I got trained and stuff in running well, not professionally. Well, I was trained by professionals. So it shouldn't take me that much to bounce back in terms of running and stuff like that. Doubt I'll be sprinting though. Again, if you're wondering, I was a 200 meters and 400 meters runner. So yeah. Next up is, have I thought about putting Irelia into my champion pool? I have. Yeah, I have thought about it. I'm not entirely sure if... Here's the weird thing. Apparently, well, I think the champion's really good. I just suck versus that champion. And it was really cool, I heard, that we did that video on that insane Smurf Irelia, you may remember. Apparently, that is a known person. They're a pro or a streamer or something. Someone told me that they looked at my video on stream and they like kind of went through it. And like for the most part, it seemed that they enjoyed the video, and obviously them being praised heavily, going, "Oh my god, this player's good," is always probably a good feeling. But when I said in the video, Irelia's crazy overpowered, or I think she is, apparently they laughed. So like, yeah, maybe to someone that's an insane challenger, like they're smurfing in challenger, maybe to them it's not like she's not overpowered. But like to me, dude, like she does so much damage for a champion that's not necessarily early game. I die to her all the time in early game, and I go into games where I'm not dying to her at level 2, and I die at level 2. It's like, oh, for God's sake. But yeah, I have thought about potentially picking her in my champion pool. She is relatively fun, so maybe in the Smurf series that we're going to continue recording today on stream, maybe I'll play Irelia potentially. Again, I kind of don't want to pick top lane though today. I want to have maybe a week or so away from top lane because we were playing it so much recently. But I guess I could play Irelia mid if we've got an AP top laner. Next up is, I don't know if you answered, but what is the thing that clicked and made you decide you wanted to change your health? Which is inspiring, to be honest, especially when you look at how much the League is toxic and might bring you down with all the stress. Keep up the good work. Love your non-toxic content, Huz. Thank you very much. That's a nice message. I have spoken about it, and it's something that I've said, unfortunately, I can't give to you guys. The click of like when you want to lose weight. And I've been really flattered that some people have messaged me going, I was their click. Seeing the differences between 7 months ago me and this me, that made them go, snap, you can do that in 6-7 months. I'm going to do that too, which is awesome. My click was getting invited to an event. Literally, I have no idea why. It was the League 10 event that only, I think, 500 people got invited to go to London. And celebrate the 10-year anniversary of League, that all the announcements, when you guys probably watched it, it was a big stream. I was there. I was there as one of the, I don't know what to say, featured people, but I got some special stuff in the background. I was told things. I was testing things in the background. I was, it was awesome. Rioters kept coming up to me, and it was an insane day, but that event made me click. Like before, it was like a month or so, maybe 6 weeks before the event that I actually officially got invited. And I confirmed, I'm going to go to that, sure. And I was like, I'm going to lose weight. Don't know why. I have no idea why. I think it was just like, it's this big event. I'm going to meet people that I haven't seen in a couple of years. I'm going to meet new people. I want to make a good impression. So, from being invited to then the event, I think I lost about 22 pounds technically from when I got invited to going to the event. And obviously overall now I've lost 50 pounds. So I've more than doubled what I lost from the League 10 event. But yeah, that was it. So I can't give you guys that, but that's what made me kind of go boof. But yeah, like I don't mind to say it. I'm really happy with what I did, and have done and continue to do. Like it took me years, and that's the lesson that I think a lot of people need to have is it is not an overnight thing. It is something that is going to take years. You guys, if you've watched my channel for years, know that, I spoke about losing weight for maybe 5 years of doing YouTube. We did it, finally. If you go back and watch all my New Year's resolution videos, every single one of them was lose weight this year. And, there is a bit of a fluctuation in some of the years that, one year I lost £20, one year I gained 10 back. This is the year that we obviously did it. We finally did it. It's awesome. I'm not overweight anymore at all. So it's awesome. And I'm in shape and I can lift pretty heavy stuff in the gym and I can run, when I have done cardio, I can run quite a long way. It's good. I feel in some avenues, I feel like I'm myself again. It's still not perfect, being locked up in this room, and not to put a down on it, but being locked up in this room, recording all the time, streaming all the time, not really doing much outside is a bit meh. That's the one thing that I need to do, but obviously with what's going on in the world, and that was going to be 2020 for me. My goal for 2020, I might have said it in the New Year's video, but was like, all right, move out and do more things, like live a bit more. Obviously, that's been put on hold because of Corona, but everybody's 2020 has been kind of put on hold. So I can't get too down about it because everybody's in the same position. But yeah, and obviously I will say with my friends, I've got like really good friends and we're planning a lot for when all this is over, which is awesome. So it's nice to have those plans and to definitely be doing things after all this. And obviously I will be looking to move out after all this. But yeah, part of me, I will say, is happy that I didn't move out before, because if I moved out, then I technically would have been deemed a separate household. Therefore, I wouldn't have been able to really integrate with my family. That would have still been in this house. So it is kind of a blessing in disguise that I didn't move out before, which is good. Because obviously I do talk to my family. I do go downstairs and chill with them a bit here or there. So that's good. So yeah. All right, a couple more questions. What is my number one tip for climbing? Try to focus on yourself, and I'd say that's the one biggest thing that you notice when it comes to the Smurf series and my main account. My main account, and I know it's a weakness of mine, I focus on my teammates too much. On the Smurf, I don't care about my teammates. I literally just focus about getting fed in my lane, the end, pretty much. And yeah, we'll point out obviously what my teammates are doing, but like it doesn't affect how I'm playing a lot of the time. It's a really effective way to climb. Next up is, what is my best advice for new players with a bit of anxiety? Play. It sounds weird, but I had ranked anxiety. A lot of people do. I say maybe even the majority of player has ranked anxiety, here or there, whether it's just playing ranked in general or snap, I'm in promotion series, I can't play right now. I think everybody gets it to a degree, and the way that I got through it, because, a lot of people go, Huzz, you treat ranked as normal games. Yeah. It's just because I'm so used to it. I played normals for Season 1 and 2 as my primary mode, and Season 3, I quit World of Warcraft. I was like, well, League is my main game. I've got to play the rank mode now. And I had very bad anxiety with it. I even had, stomach butterflies, feeling ill. I just played so much, just forced myself to play, that it eventually kind of became the norm for me, and then it just didn't really affect me. That's not going to work for everybody. I managed to just, drive myself through it. That's what I'd suggest. I don't really know how else I would have done it, but yeah. Next up is, will I post Valorant content on your main channel? Yes. So this is actually something we can talk about because it's been officially announced. The Valorant closed beta is happening in less than a week from now. So obviously Valorant being the new FPS game that Riot has made, I've actually been talking to them in the background being like, hey guys, now is a really good time to probably get that beta going. And all I had as a reply to a couple messages was a wink. I was like, oh, okay, I know what's coming. So hopefully I do get in. I haven't had confirmation, but it looks like I'll be getting into the closed beta wave 1. I'd be surprised if I don't, if I'm honest. But yeah, as somebody that has played competitive in the past in both COD and League, I hope a good person to test their new competitive shooter game. And if I am one of those approved streamers to get in early, that means I give you guys access when you watch my stream of me playing it. The same what happened with the card game. But yeah, I will be posting on the main channel. Not all the time. It'll be a second video of the day, and it might be a couple times a week. And obviously it depends also how the videos do. If the videos get over 10,000 views and a lot of likes, I'll be like, hell yeah, we can keep doing this. If the video views don't do that well, then obviously I'll do it less. But I will say do it less doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. I got to also think about me and what do I want to do as a YouTuber. It's something that I've never really done. I've always made content that I'm like, right, what does the YouTube channel want? I'm just going to keep smashing out the content that they want. I need to think about me a little bit too. So Valorant is for me. Like, I'm going to be honest. Valorant is going to be my game that I'm really looking forward to, that I'm actually really hoping I get high rated in. Get, like, not competitive in, but, like, get diamond equivalent at least in Valorant. And who knows, man? You know, I'm not saying that I'm ever going to quit League. I love League as a video game. Like, mechanically, League is my favorite video game of all time. The community's a bit iffy, ranked a bit iffy, and Riot's attention to League has been a bit odd in the recent years. And I think it has been maybe, and I will now admit, I think it has been because their attention has been going away from League and into other games. So maybe Valorant will be a much better experience as a gamer because Riot's attention will be fully on it. So we'll see. But yeah, hopefully I get into the first wave, and that will give me access to give you guys access too. And yeah, you know, I'll let you guys know. I'm, you know, expecting the email any day now. I'll be like, you're in. Congrats. And I will say, as a content creator, what did I have to do to try and get in? This is stuff that you guys potentially never know. We had to apply. Literally, we got sent like an application form to like basically explain why you should be in wave 1 of Valorant. You know, that's kind of how serious Riot's taking this. And I think we should be okay, right? Like, I'm one of the biggest one of the biggest UK people in terms of League, in terms of competitive League. I got picked as the face of UK for Twitch Rivals twice. One time the captain. I've spoken to Rioters. Most of the UK crew know me quite well. I know them quite well. I played League competitively years ago. Played Call of Duty competitively. So I'm hoping I'd be a pretty good candidate. You know, let's hope. Cross our fingers, I guess. But yeah. And then, like, let's do 2 more, I guess. What to do? To you, what defines high quality game of League? Ooh, that's a good question. What defines a good quality game of League? Both teams can win, and it's on how the players are playing individually in that game that determines who wins or not. So, like, if it's simply, oh, the enemy team has got, like, matchmaking at the moment seems completely messed up. On my main account, I've had people that were like Platinum 3 with a negative win rate going against someone that was in Diamond 2. And it was like, how has this happened? That just didn't seem very good. And you can probably guess how that went. So that didn't feel good. But if everybody's in the, like, perfect matchmaking for me, like a high quality game of League, let's say you're in Diamond, because again, Diamond is the top 1% of the game roughly. Like my main account right now, and I don't even feel like I'm very high rated. I'm in the top 0.9%. That's really high rated. Like, let's be honest. It just is, statistically. But if you're in Diamond, your top laner is a top lane main. Your jungle's a jungle main. Your mid's a mid main. Your AD's an AD main. Your support's a support main. You're all in the same rating bracket. You're all playing champions you know play. Like, that's a high quality game of League. What isn't is, right, everybody's in the kind of same rating, but you've got a support that's auto filled into jungle against a jungle main. That's never going to feel good. Is it? Like, let's be honest. It just isn't. So just being, like, fair. Like, oh, the enemy team's got a duo Q bot lane. Your team's got a duo Q bot lane. Like, that, again, make it fair. That's how you get high-quality games, is you make both teams balanced. Right now, it definitely isn't. Hasn't been for years, by the way. I honestly think Season 6, the whole dynamic queue thing, is when this started to happen. When, like, the whole rank queue was like, this just doesn't make any sense anymore. Season 6. Next one is... how is the lockdown treating you? I guess we can talk about this. Yeah, why not? How's the lockdown treating me? Overall, my life hasn't changed too much. I don't think some people will be surprised in knowing. You know, I generally was inside most of the day streaming and doing YouTube and doing background things, emails and stuff. So overall, it hasn't changed that much. What has changed is obviously, like a lot of us, the freedom to do what you want. I did go to the gym. I did go get a coffee every day. Literally every day I left the house pretty much to go drive and get a coffee just to be out the house. I did go to the store a few times a week just to get little things that I want. I'm not doing that anymore. So I will be honest, I felt... especially with the rivals stress added, I felt like I was getting a little bit boxed in mentally. Rivals being over, that has definitely lessened that. But I do feel like a little bit stir crazy just being stuck inside. You know, I'm still exercising. I'm still going in the garden. I'm not going out too much because obviously we're not, well, is it saying not allowed is the right term? But yeah, you're not supposed to, at least. And, when it goes to going for shopping and stores and stuff, I'm not what I would deem the designated person to do that, but I might do it in the next few days just to get out of the house. And, I haven't driven my car in a week, and I know to a lot of people that isn't a big deal, but if you guys know me, one of my biggest hobbies outside of gaming is cars and driving, and F1 obviously is now cancelled, so yeah, like I'm a bit stir crazy, if I'm honest, but I'm hoping it'll be fine. They're saying here in the UK at least the peak of what, it's like Voldemort, is happening in the next week or two, and hopefully after that it slows down. I do know personally a few people that have got it, the thing, and have had it and recovered from it. My dad also knows a few people that have got it right now. So it's a bit, up in the air. It's a bit like, but we'll come out of this. I guess another thing is obviously my family is now home 24/7, which I love my family to bits. I'm sure a lot of you guys love your families to bits. But obviously it was always nice to be like, right, my family's in work. I have the house to myself. It's a bit like, I don't have that, anymore. Everybody likes their own space. So yeah, and I will say as a final positive as well, I have mentioned here or there that I'm sleeping terribly. This is actually something that I wanted to say earlier, but I forgot about weight loss. Your bed. It's a bit random. But when you're losing weight, there are a few things that you don't think about if you're losing quite a lot of weight. So clothes is one. So I was an XL, extra large. I'm now a medium. So all of my XL clothes are way too big for me. Like even I ordered a really nice new hoodie. It came yesterday. It's a large. And I was like, oh, a nice like large hoodie to like chill in and be comfy in. It's way too big. Way too big. So that's a bit like, so you don't think of clothes that much. And also, buying clothes as you're losing weight. But the other thing, for me at least, and I'm not sure if other people have experienced it, is your bed. I had one of these like foam mattresses, like, you guys know the brands that are out there. It was really comfy when I first got it. It's the best bed I've ever had. As I was losing weight, I was finding it to become less and less comfortable. And now that I'm at a weight that my ribs don't have an extra layer of squidge over them, or my hip bones are a bit exposed. That might sound weird, but yeah, it doesn't have like anything over them that much. My old bed was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever had. It was like concrete. You put your hand on it and it was always pretty damn hard. I just couldn't sleep. I was sleeping between, I'd say, 4 to 6 hours daily, and it was driving me mental. I got a new bed. So that actually arrived today. Put it on. There's no bedding on it at the moment. I've got the bedding in a wash. But yeah, I got a new bed. So that is something that you don't think about. So if you are something that is losing weight right now and you've got a firm mattress, prepare that mattress to get less comfortable. And I also, by the way, bought a topper for it. Didn't help. It was still too firm. And I went on the bed earlier. It felt so much better. So I'm hoping tonight I'll be in bed and be like, oh my God, this is heaven. But that is something that you don't think about when you're losing weight at all. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this Q&A. If you did, throw a like on the video. Let me know how things are going for you. Again, genuinely interested to know. I do read every single comment that people leave. I am one of the YouTubers that I can promise you I do that. Obviously, I don't reply to everybody. And I only genuinely reply if it like warrants a reply. There's comments about, does Huzz reply to comments and they're trying to bait you to reply to them? I'm not going to reply to that, but if someone's got a genuine, really good comment, I'm going to reply to it. I do. But that's going to be it. I'm going to now finish this and then go start streaming. Like, subscribe, comment down below. See you guys next time.